Yeah, Chris, if you'd let me highlight, I think what is the most damning aspect of all of this, because the media won't highlight it. I had the opportunity to ask Director Gabbard about this in a press briefing. It's this December presidential daily briefing that the Obama administration had or talked about, gave, in which there was evidence that Russia did not steal the election. And they chose, and this is laid out in this memo that Gabbard publishes, to not publish this memo. And if they had published it at the time, President Trump and his national security team would have received it because he was the president-elect. He was receiving the national security briefings. And it's not explicitly laid out, but I did ask Tulsi Gabbard, do you think this went unpublished because this would have been to keep it from getting to President Trump? And she said, while there is an explicit document laying this out, she said, quote, one could assume that this was kept out, it was kept unpublished to keep President Trump from knowing the truth. And I think that is a big detail that has gone undercovered, underreported throughout this whole thing that really drives home this entire point, this whole thesis that this whole thing is a hoax or a scam. And so this is something I'd love to highlight because I think it's important for the media to keep hammering.
Now, Tony, what are we seeing and where's it going?
Well, I think what we're going to see next is a major scandal connected to the media who took these things knowingly, likely reached out to members of the intelligence community. You all know how the New York Times works. It's not as though they don't do their due diligence, reaching out to everyone possible regarding a story, and they double-checked some things. And how interested I would be to hear that after John Brennan, now that we are very well aware, went through and chose which things he did like and which things he didn't like and which narratives he fit, I believe was the earlier CIA report this year laid out. I want to see what the media outlets chose to and not to publish in order to then try to re-amplify this nonsense to the American people, not to mention, of course, Espionage Act violations and whatever else.
And whatever else. The Espionage Act of 1917?
That's correct.
Is that the one?
You're not allowed to break that one.
That's my favorite Espionage Act, I think. Now, Audrey, where's this going? Who's next?
I think the biggest question is to see, Gabbard has referred this to the Justice Department. It'll be interesting to see whether and who they decide to prosecute. Clearly there are a lot of individuals within the Obama administration who, played into this political smear that President Trump colluded with Russia. Durham spent 4 years investigating that and came to a very different conclusion, of course. But the question is, did they violate laws here, or was this an abuse of power? And that is a big distinction, right? And also, this is coming from, Gabbard and Trump have called this treason. That is a very big word, right? And they should be citing a specific criminal statute moving forward if they do want to prosecute. So that's what I'll be watching. And
Tulsi Gabbard, we should be reminded every time her name comes up, was a Democrat member of the House of Representatives, and for 20 years an elected Democrat until not very long ago at all. Just became a Republican about a year ago, as a matter of fact, because she saw what was going on inside the Democrat Party so frequently, so pervasively. And President Trump also weighing in on whether those responsible for Obamagate from Obama on down will ever see justice, saying that the decision is up to Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Are you willing to take this all the way to indictments?
Well, it's up to Pam Bondi, who's doing a terrific job, and she'll have to work with law enforcement to see what she wants to do. And I'm not giving her advice one way or the other.
Now, Jason, who do you want to see go to prison? I assume Barack Obama and John Penitentiary face Brennan for openers.
I don't root for anyone to ever go to prison. And if you've committed a crime, then you have to pay your debt. What we've seen right now is that this is an example of what Democrats were talking about during the election, that Donald Trump was going to go after his political enemies. And we've, it was found in all of these intelligence reports that Russia interfered through an influence campaign, not trying to change votes. The dossier did not play a significant role in the determinations that they came to. Michael Flynn, Don Jr., and others met with people who were linked to the Kremlin, so that's not a surprise. And again, if it's all about transparency, then I think we should see the Epstein files.